Yeah, well, that's a good little parenting dilemma. Parenting 2023 dilemma is, what do we do with regards to our kids' exposure to the internet, porn, whatever? I mean, think of all the shit is out there for your kids to get into. So how do you supervise or not supervise, or where's your line, or how do you navigate that?
Well, what I've discovered is you can't do anything. These kids have back channel upon back channel of getting these images to each other.
We now bring you Enter the Freud.
This podcast is for entertainment only and not intended for medical purposes. Listen at your own risk.
They think it's fucking hilarious because they know it's wrong, right? Mm-hmm. So then they pick the craziest shit they can find and then they send it to each other. And it's just like an expression of I'm free, I'm an individual, I'm starting to rebel, right?
Yeah. And so your stance is that at age 12, you feel like you're not going to be able to stop it. So you're just sort of just like throw your hands up and be like, all right, dude, they're just going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, my position is just like let's talk about it and then say what I just talked to him about, oh really, that's what you saw? And I was like, what did that seem like to you? And then he'll kind of explain. He's like, it's like animals in the zoo, or it's like, what the fuck have I just seen? Am I ever going to be okay again? And I'm like, yeah, interesting. And I was like, how much weird stuff do you think the human mind can see before it then becomes desensitized to it? That's the kind of stuff that I talked to him about. And in a way, I'm trying to also remove the stigma that then charges him. Because if I was like, ooh, that's bad, you guys should never do that, then I'm just totally fueling him to go do it.
Yeah.
Right? Which I know, it's hard to transition from here to where is it that these kids start parenting themselves? Because this is actually a good segue, right? Because there they are starting to show that they are going to rebel and go against things. And so what's really fascinating is because my kid is in Fairfax County, which is one of the most woke places on the planet. And really oddly, him and his friends are super anti-woke in these, all these girls, it's almost like they're rebelling against the school's oppressive rule dominating, because they've been introduced all these ideas as rule after rule after rule. Not when we hear about it, it's just like, oh, there's an idea. To them, it's a rule that you must follow, and you must now. This month it is aware. Trans awareness, right? Or it's Hispanic awareness. It's this awareness. It's that awareness. And so now these kids are kind of just like, we're fuck you awareness, and it's super weird to see that I would never have guessed this in my life. The biggest threat to the woke school system is this generation of kids. As soon as they hit 13 and 14, they're all, what are they going to do? Arrest all of them? Because they're not going to go along with any of it. They say the most racist, crazy shit in these texts to each other. What they're sending back and forth is everything wrong.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I actually see a similar thing going on in my son's peer group too. We went skiing a month ago, and one of the kids, so my son and his best friend, and then the older sister is at this super woke liberal arts college, and she's super woke. And my son and his friend totally liked just to needle her and talk shit, and they totally treated her as if she was stupid for believing in all these woke rules. It was kind of the same thing. It's this backlash. It's like there's a woke, like you're saying, the teachers and teaching people how to be very anti-racist, sensitive, equity, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then the youth are like, you fucking old, stupid idiots. Fuck that shit. That's totally going on.
It's so weird to think of, but then instantly, I imagine if I grew up with that level of, these are the new rules, it's like,
yeah.
There's a stage of your development where you reject all the formality of the rules. And
right.
Why would we not think of, it's just like a new rebellion rather than like when our age group went through this, it was like, oh, embrace heavy metal, embrace Ozzy Osbourne, embrace like these images that go against Judeo-Christian oppressive thing. Well, that's gone. And so there's a new oppressive religious ideology that has come. And then everyone, these kids are doing the same thing. They're just like, fuck that. Like I'm going to do some other things, which like, it'll be amazing to see what are the trends that take hold in opposition to it. I don't know what they'll be. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, there's some like developmental process in that I want to put my finger on. It's like the teachers, metaphorically, like teachers have these like dogmatic rules, and the youth, the teenagers, the high school kids, whatever, it's like they kind of can see the rigid, simplistic thinking in the teachers and the rules.
Yeah.
And now they're not smart enough to fully articulate a counterpoint. They are intuitively wise enough to sense that the teacher's rigid dogma is too simplistic and too rigid. And it's like a teenager is going to fight against simplistic, rigid dogma.
Yes.
And so the simplistic, rigid, woke dogma, these youth are like, that's fucking stupid. We're going to like do the opposite for the fun of it.
So my son had these 3 girlfriends that were trans last year, and now that they're all kind of hitting puberty, they've spontaneously all become straight girls. They like boys. They wanted to be boys, and then suddenly they were like, oh fuck that, we like Jacob, or we're into like all 3 of them, like right about the same time, decided, oh, we're heteronormative and we like boys, and like that's what's going on, and but it was no big deal. It wasn't like detransitioning and all this fucking talk that people say. It was just like the girls just they temporarily had an identity that, hey, we're of some kind of different orientation, but it was prepubescent. Mm-hmm. And as soon as their hormones hit, they were just like, wow, that was like, I forget I said any of that, right? And so I think it's a lot. And not to, I don't even have an issue with how things play out and who becomes what, because like in our last episode, I'm kind of like, hey, your freedom of individual expression is whatever, man. You can go jump out of a fucking plane and like in a squirrel suit or naked and just be like, yeah, this is my expression to the world, and film the whole thing. Like, what, you can do whatever you want, right? Like, I don't know how we got. I kind of fell off this track of like who's gonna parent somebody. It's kind of because I have to pee super bad, and it's the end of the. It's almost the end of the hour. I'm like, I lost it.
Our thread, of course, got into wokeism and transgenderism, and
dude, this is why our podcast is seriously fucking shit now. It like it is so. I even tried to not have the first few minutes say fucking this, fucking that, and it's still gonna get suppressed. Like our 2 viewers, like it, because we can't avoid this kind of a subject matter. We'd have to we're gonna have to do something totally different. And I don't know. Somehow you're gonna have to edit out the thing with the kids looking at porn. I think that there might be a problem there.
What?
I have to take a piss so bad, dude. I'll be back in like 1 second.
All right. Go for it.